Hi, hello everyone. Good day and happy new month to you all. It's month of May and we are grateful for another month, obviously. So on our journey to getting a better relationship with God, we have on our table today prayer. Our topic for today happens to be prayer. So a lot of us in prayer has a burden or a miss of wasting one's time or something. But I'm here to tell you today that prayer is one of the most important things that draws us closer to God. It is our means, a way of communication with God, a way that draw our relationship closer to God in one way or another, right? So prayer is not, when we look through the book, Jesus talking to, preaching to his disciple, teaching his disciple, it talked about how we should pray. It taught us how we should pray. First, it taught us that we should not be like the Pharisees that just pray and make everyone know that, oh, they are praying. When we want to pray, we should go to our closet, lock the door, and talk to our Father, which is in secret. And the Father who is in secret, we hope will answer us openly. So, what are the reasons for prayer? There are several reasons for prayer, but before we even go down to that, let's talk about prayer as the utmost means of communication with God. Prayer is an utmost means of communication with God. It is the only way we get to hear from God and we get to talk to God. A fervent man in prayer happens to have this close relationship with God, and that's everything that matters. Another fact we have here is many trap destiny can be break loose and free in the place of prayer. Many trap destinies can be break loose and free in the place of prayer. So why are we going to see prayer as a waste of time or one or two disagreement or something? And besides, God listens to everyone. In the place of prayer, God listens to everyone, every one of us. You're not different. You are not exceptional. I'm not exceptional. As long as we pray with a sincere heart and a willing soul, willing to hear from God as well, and willing to confess our sin and to just, embrace the blessing, this relationship we want to build with Him. So, what are the importance of prayer? There are several reasons why we should pray. Not just because we need blessings or because we want a breakthrough or because we feel like to pray. Prayer, there's a lot of reasons why we get to pray. Outside the fact that it is our only way to communicate with God, to hear from God, and to also talk to Him, pour out our heart desire to Him. Prayer is also is that it's improve our relationship with God. That's number one reason for prayer. It's improve our relationship with God. Aside the fact that it comes with blessings and everything, prayer improve our relationship with God. So how about you thinking, oh, how can I get to know God? How can I? It starts in the place of prayer. If you are able to bring yourself then to the acknowledge yourself and just bring yourself to talking to God in the place of prayer, trust me, you are a step away. You are a step into getting to know this God and building a relationship with God. For for a breakthrough encounter, after we get to build our relationship with God, now it brings us to a breakthrough encounter. Because in the place of prayer, you're able to talk to God tell God anything. The God said in the word, He said, even before we pray, He knows what we want to talk about. But why is it important to pray? Because we have to talk to God. He have to hear it directly from us. Probably I've talked about this before, but trust me, God needs to hear from our own mouth to His ear. He can do anything we want, but without us talking to Him first in the place of prayer, there's no way He can go ahead doing something for us. So another reason here is to keep our divine purpose with God. Keeping our divine purpose in God. Trust me, everyone on earth have a divine purpose. As long as they drag God, they put God alongside with everything. We all have a divine purpose as long as we have God. And prayer is the only thing that can draw that divine purpose to us, getting us to know and understand the divine purpose. It's only in the place of prayer. Also, for a divine purpose and connection, just like I said, for a divine purpose and connection, building your connection with God. How do you build connection with God? It's simple in the place of prayer. When we embrace God in the place of prayer, it tends to build our connection, like it draw our connection closer to Him. Not just us getting to talk to Him, He then gets to talk to us. We then get to hear from Him. There's one purpose of prayer, or there are several purposes of prayer, but one special purpose is building our relationship and connection with Him, and that's the most important of all. And also, yeah, we say to increase our spirituality for God divine purpose and to keep our relationship with God. To increase our spirituality. Take that part to increase our spirituality. You know, a lot of things works in the spirit realms than in the physical realm. For us to have dominion in the physical realm, we have to build our spirituality, our strong relationship in the spirit realm. We have to have this strong and constant relationship in the spirit realm, this strength in the spirit realm to be able to overcome in the physical realm. And that only happen in the place of prayer. Just like I say, it helps us to build our spirituality. What is more important than a strong spirituality, not just with God, but for ourselves, and to overcome, like just get through over everything, not just here on earth, but after earth, like after our time here on earth, to build our spirituality with God. And also, for it says, if there is a man to pray, like literally, if there is a man to pray, there is a God to answer. That's just a way for God to let us know that as long as we are willing to pray, to come to Him in the place of prayer, He is willing, like He is ready and available for us, no matter who we are, no matter. I've got to realize something. I'm still saying it. It doesn't matter how sin or how far we have gone in the word of in the secular world or in the world, as long as we are able to come to God in the place of prayer, He is willing to accept us, to embrace us with the love, with the compassion, mercy, and every good thing that comes along with knowing God. So if there is a man to pray, there is a God to answer. Jesus Christ encouraged us, even in the book of Luke, to be able to, you know, to to be to be constant in prayer and not faint. We ought to we ought to be close to God in prayer and not faint. Prayer is one thing that breaks anything or that answers anything. Like if you have a request or whatsoever, the only way you can bring it out to God is in the place of prayer. Like it said, if there is a man to pray, there is a God to answer. Let's look into the book of Luke, Luke 18, and let's see what the words literally say, or the commandment we have on them. Luke 18 verses 1. So, reading through Luke 18 verses 1, it said, and he spake a parable, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that man ought always to pray and not to faint. This was literally Jesus Christ talking to, teaching always in his quest of teaching, not just as a disciples but everyone. He said men ought always to pray and not to faint. If you go in the place of prayer and you see yourself having these different thoughts, and you know this is something we're going to talk about on our next video. But first, we are talking about, you know, how to build our relationship and how we can, get closer to God. And that is in the place of prayer. And what we'll be talking about next time, imagine you trying to pray and you're not being focused on everything. That's something we'll be talking about on our next video as you stay tuned. But first, let's give ourselves to the place of prayer, as that's the only way we can succeed. We can grow our relationship. We can break through into spirituality, into our divine purpose with God, into building our relationship with God. Also, it brings us to the realm of God. There's nothing like the realm of God. You're praying and having this feeling that yes, God is listening to you, or God hears you, or God is willing to hear you, like He's just as ready to hear you. It's it brings our relationship, you know, it brings us closer to the realm of God. What more can be greater than this? What more can be greater than going closer to the realm of God in prayer? In prayer. So, in conclusion, prayer is the key. Just like Jesus told the disciples, he said prayer is the key. It started with prayer and it ended with prayer also. So we urge us, whatever we find ourselves, whatever situation we find ourselves, instead of our giving up the hope, like, oh, it's over or it's done, we are done with or something, let's first start and talk to God in prayer. And once we are able to conquer that part, trust me, every other thing will be set and done. Every other thing will be minor. Just build a relationship with God. Let's build our relationship with God in the place of prayer. And once we are able to do that, we'll see things getting clearer to us. We getting clearer understanding, and clearer understanding, clearer vision, clearer things to the realm of God, to the things of God. Our relationship getting closer, not just our relationship getting closer, but we building our spirituality in the things of God and getting closer to the realm of God. There's nothing more greater or more better than that. As we listen and as we continue, we pray that we are able to to emphasize and build this relationship that we need in the place of prayer. For prayer is the key and the only true way to talking to God and building our relationship with God. As we continue our week, it's the week is already coming to an end. As we continue this month, I pray that God draw us closer. We find reasons to trust in God more and talk to Him in the place of prayer, for it is the only way that we can succeed. Have a great day and be safe.